Hello, everybody. Welcome to NJ Thrive's Small Business Webinars. Today is Tuesday, March 26th. You are attending one of our weekly webinars created to help New Jersey small business owners start, grow, and thrive. My name is Uzma Sheikh. I'm a consultant here at NJSBDC, and NJSBDC stands for New Jersey Small Business Development Centers Network. We are a statewide program powered by the SBA, which stands for Small Business Administration, and partners to help small businesses in New Jersey with three main things. Those things are no-cost small business consulting, training and events starting at $0, just like this one that you're attending, and exclusive small business resources. On the map that you see on the slide here, that is the state of New Jersey in all the counties of New Jersey. And in some counties, you'll see there are small SBDC logos, and that's where our 10 regional centers are located. So, and if you're wondering why are they not situated in every single county, some regional centers cover multiple counties. So, for example, Somerset, Hunterdon, and Morris, they may be covered by one, just for as an example. So if you ever want to go say hi in person, please go to njsbdc.com, find out where your regional center is located, and make an appointment and request counseling. So just a little tidbit. If you are new here and this is your first webinar that you're attending by NJSBDC, welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you have been coming along and following us for quite a while now, thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it. And we hope that you continue to join us. Feel free to go in the chat and let us know who you are, where you're from, what you're doing. If you are already an existing small business owner and you're looking to get into the space for another one and we can help you, let us know. But if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, you have any ideas that you want to share, feel free to network, make friends, say hi. So the webinar that you're attending is part of a multi-session webinar series, and that's the how to register your business with $0 in NJSBDC support. We identified the need and started this series back in November, and thank God we've been going on because we see the real need for it and people have been enjoying it. And this has been for startup assistance to help aspiring entrepreneurs, like I mentioned, start, grow, and thrive, as there has been real interest. And I see responses coming in. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Jaden. We appreciate it. All right, so what is on the agenda for today? We have a couple of headlines that I'd like to show you, and these things are just any news articles, any events, things that are happening in the small business community here in the States, here in the state of New Jersey, or nationwide, that may be of interest to you. Then we have the presentation from our speaker and Q&A session after. So these are some of the headlines of the week. I will share these links as soon as I'm done presenting, and you can view them at your own time. So this first link, press release, is from NJEDA. NJEDA stands for New Jersey Economic Development Authority. This is a great resource for small business owners. Always keep an eye out. They have great programs, loan programs, grant programs, things like that. So always stay up to date with their page. So this was published on March 22nd. NJEDA unveils first annual New Jersey Global Economic Index. Report aims to guide and further develop the state's international business relationships. All right, and this is inaugural, of course, economic index, highlights, ranks, and analyzes sources of foreign direct investment, FDI, into New Jersey. The report, which will be released annually, aims to guide and further develop international business relationships with the state while bolstering Governor Murphy's economic development goals. And let's see. Okay, the full report can be found online here. So if you go to the website, you will find the report and you can view the report on your own there. Registration open for National Small Business Week Virtual Summit. We've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks. Again, highlighting it here. This is a press release from U.S. Small Business Administration, also SBA, which I mentioned earlier. Attendees can participate in educational workshops, network, and learn about federal resources to help them succeed. Published on March 12th. So this is a virtual summit. You do have to register. It is free, but you do have to register. And it's a 2-day online event taking place from April 30th to May 1st. This is, of course, in honor of small businesses nationwide. So definitely recommend that you attend. And this third link that we're sharing is from it's the Information Technology and Cybersecurity Accelerator. Excuse me. It's a 5-month program starting in late spring, and this program is free of charge to participants. If you are someone who already have a successful technology business, want to get to the next level, accelerate growth, don't miss the opportunity to join the Innovative Vendor Development Program designed for New Jersey MWBE and veteran-owned small business owners in the IT and cybersecurity industry. So who can apply? Minority women with veteran-owned business enterprises, registered and operating in New Jersey, employing 2 or more individuals, and businesses should generate at least $500,000 annually. This is the registration page, and you can fill that out. Going back to my slideshow, again, I will share these links. Some housekeeping rules to keep in mind. If you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A box. That's right next to the chat box where we see the responses coming in. Still, the responses are coming in. Shout out to all the people. So Pamela, Donnet, Mary Lee, Letitia, Christopher, Marie, Karen. Thank you all. And please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A. We'll address them in the Q&A session. If you would like the slides that our presenter will put them on will be putting on the screen, then please complete a brief survey. It's a Google form survey. You don't need to do much. Just let us know. If you like the webinar, what can we do to make them better? What other topics that you would like to see? And we plan our webinar curriculum accordingly. And this webinar is being recorded. You will get you won't get the webinar in email or any messages or anything like that. You can go to our YouTube channel, search up NJSBDC NJ Thrives, or go to one of the links that I will share in the chat. All right, enough from me. Today's session number 19, Navigating Business Registration with NJSBDC, with Vanessa Schwartz, one of our startup consultants. Vanessa has been doing this since November, so we've sort of come a long way now, but as always, it's very valuable. So Vanessa, welcome, and the stage is yours now.
Thank you so much, Uzma. Thank you for all that information. That was really helpful. I'm going to share my screen and we can get started. Let's see, share screen, here we go. And there. Okay, so once again, my name is Vanessa Schwartz. I've been with the Small Business Development Center for about 5.5 years, and I'm here to talk a little bit about what to know about starting your new business, and very importantly, with $0 NJSBDC support. Basically, we want you to know that we are here to assist you, guide you, mentor you, or provide resources, counseling if necessary, one-on-one counseling, educational programming. But for today's presentation, one of the most important things that I think you can take away is that if you're looking to start your business and form and register your business in the state of New Jersey, you can get one-on-one counseling support through the process to make sure that you're doing it correctly, and to make sure you understand the steps, and so that you get started and get started on a good foot. So whether you're someone who wants to take your hobby to the next level, you're interested in pursuing your side hustle a little bit further, or if you're a professional in your own space and believe the time is right to start entrepreneurship, making the time to educate yourself here today, is, I think, a great step forward and critical to the success of your business, I believe. Okay, so today, what to know about starting a new business. Before we get into more specifics about formation and registration and the different the way to do that in New Jersey, we want to talk a little bit about the different business structures that exist that you can choose from. We're going to talk a little bit again about the formation and then the registration process, and particularly dive into the formation and registration process for the limited liability company. We'll address some state regulations and requirements to do business in New Jersey, and touch a little bit upon income taxes and other types of taxes that you should be aware of as business owners in New Jersey. As startups, funding and cash management are important topics. We'll address a little bit about that. I mean, just know that when you're starting up and you have questions about financing and funding, NJSBDC is here to counsel you on those topics as well. Additional needs as business owners. We can talk about a little bit about what's out there and where you might need additional services. And then, of course, next steps. Once you're formed, registered, and operating, where are your opportunities? How do you grow? These are all topics that we'd love to discuss with you, either through presentations like this or through one-on-one counseling. Okay, so in terms of business structure, you have several options to consider when you're forming a business. The simplest form of business structure out there today is called the sole proprietorship. I'm sure you've heard of it. Basically, a sole proprietorship is when you are conducting business for yourself, and it's to a point where you feel that you'd like to be identified in society under a particular name. We call that a trade name. And you are going to, do this at a level where you are earning income to the point where it is time to take that business and register it with the state of New Jersey for tax purposes. So the simplest way to do that, to file for a trade name, is you can go to your local county clerk's office, or you can pull the application right online. You file for a trade name. It's inexpensive. It's about $50, $60 at the county level. You can then go ahead, and once you get that trade name, you can either use your social security number, or you can apply for an EIN number, which stands for Employer Identification Number from the IRS. Either way, those would be used as your tax ID. And then you can go ahead and register that trade name with the Division of Revenue and Enterprise Services. Again, for sole proprietorship, you only need a social security number. You don't have to go to the IRS and get a tax ID number. But nowadays, with identity theft and fraud, it's not a bad idea to apply for an EIN. It's totally free. You do it right at the IRS website. We can guide you through that process if you need assistance. You would provide some information about your business. You provide your social security number, and you can get a tax ID number to use for tax purposes. But it's not mandatory with a sole proprietorship. You may use your personal banking to deposit funds through your transactions. You do not need a separate business bank account for a sole proprietorship. The tax filing for your business is super simple. You just are required to attach a Schedule C attachment to your personal income tax return that would reflect the sales of your business, any expenses that you incurred, and ultimately your net income. And then that net income would get passed through to your tax return through your original filing, and you would pay your income taxes on the additional income. The sole proprietorship, the downside is that you have absolutely no legal separation between the assets of the owner, your personal assets, and the business. So therefore, there's no liability protection. So if something were to happen and you were to run into some trouble, whether you be sued or there is an issue with debt, you are potentially liable beyond the business, and where your personal banking, house, assets could be at risk. So that is the downside with the sole proprietorship, one of the downsides. So moving up on the continuum, the next business structure that we would think about is the limited liability company. The LLC is a great business structure in that it's simple enough, it's flexible enough, but it does provide you limited liability as a business owner. All the assets that are held within the umbrella of the LLC are there. They're separate from you, the person. And so you're only truly ever at risk of any assets held within the umbrella. So the cost to form an LLC is a little bit more. It's $125 in New Jersey. There's a processing fee, whether you use a credit or debit card or you do e-check. The other requirement that is different from the sole proprietorship is that there is a $75 per year annual dues to maintain your LLC in good standing. Another difference is that you are required to use a federal EIN number, tax ID number that is assigned specifically to the LLC. So now the business structure, the LLC, legal name should match the tax number that from the letter from the IRS when you apply for your EIN. So the business now is under the tax ID. You are required to have it then under that, a separate business banking account. You must keep your personal separate from your business in terms of banking. And the owner of the LLC has the flexibility to choose how he or she wishes that the LLC be taxed. So if you are a single member means owner in LLC terminology, you are permitted to use the Schedule C tax filing. As you recall, the Schedule C is what's used by the sole proprietor. So what's nice about the LLC is that if you're the only owner and you wish to be file as a Schedule C filer, you have the simplicity of the sole proprietorship, but yet you are now a business structure that does carry some limited liability and it is separate from you personally. If you are more than one owner, a multi-member LLC, you can choose, or you would normally default to a partnership tax filing. That's the Form 1065. Or you can choose to be taxed as a corporation. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But the thing to take away here is that the LLC is a very flexible business structure, which allows you to have liability protection, and it is filed with the state. So when you do go through the process, which we're going to discuss, when you go to apply for your business name, it does have to be unique in New Jersey. And now we're on a state level, not a county level. And we'll talk more about that and how we go about taking care of it. But whereas the sole proprietorship is done at the county level with the registration done at the state level, the LLC formation is done online through the New Jersey portal and then registered as well online. The next level of business structure is the corporation. In the corporation, it is our most, I guess you can consider it the strongest liability protection. It's a little bit more complicated in terms of its formation and its tax consequences, but you are required to establish bylaws, create a board of directors, hold your shareholder meetings. You are required to file a separate tax return for the company. So now the other issue too is with the corporate filing is that the corporation is now subject to its own tax rate and its own taxation. So once you get to a net income number, you'll file your taxes and there will be a corporate tax rate assigned. And then after that, we have the net earnings, and those get passed through to the shareholders, at which time the shareholder now pays taxes on those dividends. So sometimes it's referred to as a double taxation. And for a small company, that can be burdensome. So it's not typically chosen by a small company, but there are times when small businesses may decide to incorporate, for reason being mostly related to liability protection. There are certain industries where might be better to incorporate, either because of the liability protection, or maybe if you're trying to raise money and you need to issue additional shares. So there are compelling reasons, but there are ways to do that and still shield yourself from that double taxation, which we're going to talk about that in the next slide. But just to keep in mind that after you form any of these business structures, you do then go to the New Jersey registration. You take that business structure and you do register it for tax purposes. Okay. So the S corporation is more a tax designation as opposed to a legal business entity. So as I was saying, that in order for corporations to avoid the double taxation, they can apply for the S corp tax status, where that would allow the corporation to pass its income directly to its shareholders for tax purposes. There are some restrictions for these corporations in order to be eligible for the S corp tax status, namely 100 or fewer shareholders, the type of stock that's issued, but it is an option for corporations to which would alleviate that corporate tax rate. Same for LLCs. LLCs have the option as well to select a tax designation to be taxed as a corporation, in which case then they would also opt for the S corp. Although LLCs offer so much more flexibility than corporations with respect to the structure, profits, filing, sometimes there are instances when an LLC may choose to change the way it is taxed and choose that S corp tax status, because as LLC owner, you take your pay through your net income, you pay yourself, and you pay self-employment taxes. And at a certain threshold, and this is a conversation you would have with your accountant, is that there could be a time when it might be more tax advantageous for your LLC to change the tax filing, because as an S corp, you are permitted to put yourself on payroll as the business owner. And when that happens, you are now splitting the payroll taxes and expenses, excuse me, between yourself as the employee and yourself as the employer. And it could thereby reduce your total company's operating income, which would help be more advantageous in terms of the self-employment taxes. So that can be complicated, and it's not something we're really going to get into today, but it's something you should know that is an option, and it is a question you may have for your accountant. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the LLC, and more specifically. We say get it right the first time. It is an online process. It is meant to be done by the business owner, but sometimes people get confused, and it's understandable. As is everything these days, it seems straightforward until it is not. That it's very tempting. That is why many business owners who are looking to start out will pay a third party like a LegalZoom or an accountant, a lawyer, to hundreds of dollars to set up a business, to set up their LLC, when in fact it should be something that you can do for yourself. You should hopefully avoid that extra expense. You're starting out. Money is not, easy necessarily to come by, and you're shelling out, sometimes upwards to $1,000 to have someone form your LLC. Make an appointment with us, and we'll be happy to walk you through that process, start to finish. We'll make sure that you form the LLC properly. We'll make sure that you register the LLC properly, and we'll make sure you get your tax ID. No cost for our services, but it'll give you some peace of mind that you did it. You understood what you were doing as you were going through the process, and that it was done correctly. And it'll save you money. I mean, that's and I think you'll feel comfortable going through the process, because then you'll know the terminology. We want you to understand what you're doing. It's tempting to just pawn it off to somebody else, have them hand you a stack of papers, and then not know, well, what's my certificate of formation? Or do I have to charge sales tax? Or did I register? Unfortunately, third parties don't typically take you through the registration process. They charge you a lot of money for your certificate of formation, for your tax ID, for a bunch of other paperwork that frankly you don't even need, potentially. And then they never take you through that third but required step to register the business with the Division of Revenue and Enterprise Services. That's what gives you the legal authority to actually transact business in New Jersey, that last step. So with us, we'll make sure that it's all done correctly and you understand the process, and gives you an opportunity to get your documents organized, accessible, and it will also, going forward, help you with understanding some, in terms of your bookkeeping records, because when the time comes and you do need to file your taxes, it's important to understand what you need to do that. And it's also important to make sure that your business banking is set up properly. Okay, so this slide just reemphasizes what I just said, that you really have to make sure that if you do hire a third party to form your LLC, that you still go to the Division of Revenue and Enterprise Services and register your business. The step being overlooked can cause a lot of problems for you down the road. And so you just want to make sure that that step is complete. There's also some new federal requirements as of 2024 to file what's known as a beneficial ownership information report. And basically that is now a new, it takes only a couple of minutes, but it is a federal, not a state requirement, that is meant to allow the federal government to see who owns an LLC and be able to identify that person through some sort of identification. Given the most recent, what could be a driver's license, passport, given the recent, I suppose, problems in this country with money laundering or fake LLCs or tax fraud, the federal government has now tried to step in, and even though LLCs are basically state regulated institutions and managed at a state level, this is their opportunity to know what's going on and have a federal database to keep track of all the LLCs formed in the country. So when we form the LLC, when we go through the process with you, these are the things that you will need to have. We'll need a unique business name. That you can search. There's the link. You'll get these slides. You'll be able to look. That is the link to search for name availability. The legal name must be unique in New Jersey. The opportunity to have a trade name is also something, or doing business as, I should say, or an alternate business name is also an option. So if there's something that you wanted to use, it may not be available necessarily exactly the way you want it. You can create a unique business name that would be your legal LLC name, but the New Jersey will allow you to file an alternate business name. The alternate business name is $50 for 5 years, And you can have a separate trade name to identify, even if you have more than one business under your LLC umbrella, that can help identify your different businesses. The EIN we'll need. We go to the IRS, it's free. Don't ever get stuck on a page that at the end of the process and you're trying to apply for an EIN, request a credit card or a debit card, because EINs are free. There are very tricky websites that you can be on that you think you're on the IRS website. Next thing you know, you're being pulled and you're someplace else, and somebody's asking for a credit card. It's very easy to happen. I've seen it happen. So just always make sure you're on the .gov and that you're on the actual website, because it does not cost anything. We'll need some industry codes. We'll help you identify what might best suit you in terms of the different types of codes, usually for statistical purposes. New Jersey likes to keep track of the different businesses that are starting. And the NAICS code is an industry classification system. So we'll help you identify what number to use. You'll need a registered agent. If you don't want to hire a registered agent, you don't have to. New Jersey allows you to be your own registered agent. The registered agent has to be a New Jersey physical location and deemed approved as a registered agent. If it's basically a way for the state to be able to locate you, send you mail information, legal documents, cannot be a PO box. So that's why they do require that that you provide a name and address of who would be the recipient of any state legal documents that would need to be sent to your attention. And once again, you can be your own registered agent. If you're more than one person, you'll need an operating agreement to form a multi-member LLC. The operating agreement does not necessarily have to be done by a lawyer, but depending on how complicated you are looking to go in terms of the number of members and different contributions, profit sharing, responsibilities, it may not be a bad idea to have a lawyer work with you on an operating agreement. You'll want to make sure that if there's more than one person investing in this business, it's understood how much each person is investing, what the profit sharing would be, what the responsibilities might be. And also, most importantly, if the business were to be dissolved tomorrow, how would you dissolve that business? What would be the distribution of assets? So that's very important to have in place. The cost is $125 plus $350 processing fee. The e-check is also an option for an additional $1. That is the only cost in forming an LLC. It goes directly to the state, and it's during the process of filing for the LLC. That's getting the certificate of formation. There's no cost to register the business. And then you'll need to know the names and addresses, social security numbers, and percent ownerships of all the members who are going to be owning the business. Back to how you wish to be taxed. Once again, the LLC can choose its taxation method. If you're one person, Schedule C. If you're more than one person, it's the 1065, where each of the members would then file a K-1 on their individual tax returns. Or there could be a time in reason why at a certain point you may wish to choose to be filed as a corporation, and that's the 1120. You're going to need to know if your goods, the sale of your goods or your services are subject to state sales tax. So just as when you go into Walgreens and you buy a pack of gum, or you buy shampoo, you're charged sales tax. If what you're selling is subject to state sales tax, you, the business owner, would have to collect that state sales tax, hold it, and remit it quarterly to the Division of Taxation. Now, most goods are subject to state sales tax, except when they're exempt. Most services are exempt from state sales tax, except when they're not. So it's just a funny way of saying that it's important that you check. And the state does have a booklet that goes through all the goods and services of what is exempt or taxable. And we have a link to that booklet right in the slide presentation that you'll see further on. But if there's any questions, that's a good thing to discuss with your counselor. There are certain items that that are clear, and there are certain items that are tricky. For example, housekeeping services and cleaning services, they are subject to sales tax. And, you think they're performing a service, but that is subject to state sales tax. Just like there are certain goods, basic clothing in New Jersey is not subject to sales tax, but, a bracelet or a belt would be. So these are the types of things you'll need to be aware of, and whether or not you'd be eligible to make exempt purchases. If you are the retailer selling a good that is subject to state sales tax, you yourself would not be paying that sales tax when you purchase the product to create your cost of goods or wholesale. So you would have an exemption certificate or resale certificate, and you'd be able to present that to whoever you are purchasing your goods from. So again, that could be a whole presentation in and of itself, but we're happy to go through that with you and make sure that you perfectly understand what you need to do. There are additional requirements for certain industries and registrations. The general contractor, a handyman, there's a contractor's registration that's required in New Jersey. Home health aides have certain licenses. There are, food safety requirements if you're handling food. There are certain insurance thresholds that are necessary for certain businesses. It's all part of the Division of Consumer Affairs. And workers' compensation requirements. Depending on what it is that you're doing, all of this can be found and discoverable right on a couple of websites that New Jersey puts forward. The Business Action Center is a great resource, and we're happy to walk through that with you to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. And then you'll have to identify a bank where you'd like to open your business bank account. Ideally, you'll find a bank that is not charging you any fees for your checking. And, we work with a lot of different banks, small business friendly, or you may want to check where you do your banking right now, personal banking, and see if there's any options for you that might make your life easier to open a business bank account where you do your personal banking. These are some of the links that we discussed where you can look for licenses and registrations. A little bit about the sales tax requirements if your goods or services are subject to sales tax. You are self-employed individuals now going to be required to pay income taxes on your own. That's the self-employment taxes that we discussed earlier. You'll see that you are going to have to learn how to perhaps pay an estimated income tax quarterly. The federal and state governments do not wish to wait until April 15th to get your full 12 months of income taxes. And I don't think that's a good idea for anybody anyway, because you'll be burdened with a huge tax bill at the end of the year. So that's why quarterly estimated income taxes, paying them are important. There are plenty of places that show you how you can do that. You can talk to your accountant. We can talk about it as well. If you need to hire employees or independent contractors, it's important to understand the difference between a payroll versus issuing the 1099. We can talk more about that. And if you have insurance questions or workers' comp questions, we can address that as well. As a startup, you're going to need a certain amount of cash to actually get the ball rolling. You're going to need cash as you're operating and in business. So there'll be obviously some personal budget considerations. How much money do you feel that you can invest into your business? Will you need additional sources of capital? We can help you in terms of loan preparation, get your business plan together, get your income statement projections together, maybe introduce you to a few lenders, some SBA lenders. We have relationships statewide, And I think it's really important that as you start a business that you start to become more financially literate when it comes to basic business statements, such as income statement, balance sheet, cash flow. These are items that it's not, and it's understandable. It's not, we don't all have finance backgrounds or accounting backgrounds. I'm not an accountant, but when you run a business, understanding at least some basics in terms of financial literacy when it comes to business management will go a long way. And there are plenty of free resources to do that, whether it be through the NJSBDC or YouTube or other classes where understanding, just certain items will allow you to be able to better manage your books. And the whole point is you'd like to obviously make more than you spend. And that's the goal. We want to be profitable. So that's what we like to help our clients with too, is helping them understand how they can be profitable. Bookkeeping questions as well. We've offered QuickBook classes in the past. There are a lot of great apps and programs that you can use. Doesn't have to be QuickBooks. So much more now out there. Sometimes people like to use an Excel spreadsheet. Even if you just have a notebook, it's important that you manage your sales and expenses in that respect. And we'll tell you when we feel that it's important to check with your accountant or a lawyer. We don't give legal advice. We don't give specific accounting advice. Insurance agents are always happy to speak with you. They're trying to sell a service, but let them educate yourself. Shop it around. Insurance can be very important for certain businesses. And lenders too. I find that many of the lenders we work with in the state, they're very friendly and they're happy to provide some education. Even if you don't necessarily get the loan, they'll sit with you and be able to discuss certain, things that might be needed or certain things that you may have to check on. So they are there to help. And we have counselors on staff who are just nothing but marketing and social media strategists. That's not my area of expertise, but we do have people. If that's something that you're looking for counseling with, you can request to be paired with somebody there. We just like to be business mentors and be there for you through the steps of your startup, your growth, any questions you may have. We will also be happy to educate you on the different types of certifications that are available to small businesses in New Jersey. You can become certified as a small business enterprise. You can be certified as a woman, minority business enterprise, veteran, disabled veteran, and LGBTQ plus certifications. These are great ways to get yourself set up if you're interested in procurement or government contracting. What these certifications do, or they allow the small business to get on a more level playing field with the big guys, in that you'll get a vetted stamp of approval after going through the process, which tells the government, it tells corporations or anybody who's looking to create bids out to businesses for jobs that need to be done, that you are certified, that you are in good standing, that you have a plan in place. Year one, you can get a provisional certification. It doesn't require too much information. By year two, you're going to have to provide some additional financial statements, tax returns. You be able to show that you are well capitalized and able to perform a service if the government comes knocking and wants to do business with you. SBA lending, something again, I said that we can assist you with and introduce you to the right people. We offer assistance when it comes to any of the NJEDA programs, grants, applications. We can help you fill them out. We've offered classes on how to fill them out. And then just, always check back at our website, see what kind of program we have going on. We'd like to remain a resource for you as you start and grow your business. And with that, I'm going to pass it off for questions. Oh, let me just say what this is first. So if you are looking to start a business and have not done that yet, and you want help with your formation and registration, I would recommend that you scan the top QR code, and you'll kind of be put into a bucket of startups, and we'll be able to get to you and do know that that's what you're looking to do. If you're already in business and you have questions on any of the other topics that were addressed today, you can scan the bottom and you'll be assigned to a counselor as well to discuss any of your questions. And with that, I will turn it over for questions.
All right. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Hopefully everyone has found this webinar really informational. I know there are a couple of questions. I did see earlier a couple of questions going into the chat box. Please put them in the Q&A box so we can properly answer them. And just a couple of reminders before we get into the Q&A session. This webinar is being recorded, has been recorded since it started at 12. And if you'd like to rewatch the webinar, you can go to our YouTube channel and you can search NJSBDC, NJ Thrives, or just NJSBDC webinars. It'll come up. You can search them under topics. And if YouTube doesn't work, then you can certainly go to our njsbdc.com webpage. And let's go into the Q&A as in the order that we received the questions. Sorry, for some reason our form is not working, or the slides are not. So the Google Forms, Deneen was very kind to let us know in the audience that it's not working. If a couple of people can try and let us know. So in the link that was shared earlier, that I shared just a couple of comments ago. So you complete that Google Forms and then you get a link, and that should take you to Vanessa's presentation from today. If it's taking you to enhancing your credit to build a strong financial foundation, which was last Thursday's webinar, let us know. Deneen, I completely get your thanks for letting me know. We did change it. If it's not working, I'm not sure why. If anything, we can just email the slides out later on. Anyway, going into the Q&A from Pamela, I'm assuming that's how your name is pronounced. I'm sorry. They ask, good afternoon. I am currently operating as a DBA and would like to become an LLC. What do I need to do?
Okay, well, I would recommend that you make an appointment and we can walk you through the process. But I'll answer the question as well, is that in order to form an LLC, it's on the New Jersey portal. You have to go through the formation process. That's where you pay your $125. You'll then have to get a EIN from the IRS. And then once you have both the certificate of formation in place and you have your tax identification number in place, you would go to the NJ registration page and register that business. So that is just the verbal explanation of the 3 steps to form an LLC, summarized again based on the presentation. But I recommend that you make an appointment and you just go over everything again with a counselor and let us sit with you while you do it. You could do it from your house. We'll be on the phone with you and we'll just make sure it's done right.
All right, thank you. We have a question from Vivian, who asks, can foreigners or non-US citizens apply for registration of a trade name and or processing of the EIN number?
So you don't have to be a US citizen to be a business owner, but you do have to have a tax ID. If you don't have a social security number, you can use an ITIN number to get your EIN. But the most important thing, in order for you to do business in the state, you'll have to have a New Jersey registered agent. and physical presence through the registered agent in the state. And I would make an appointment to discuss further, but I believe that is correct, that, it's tax ID. You need a social security number or an ITIN to get the EIN, right? So those are the two things. And you absolutely do need to have some sort of New Jersey presence in terms of the business has to be doing business in New Jersey, which means you'll have to have a registered agent in New Jersey.
Got it.
Mm.
All right. Next question is from Billy, who asks, I already have an LLC. Can I still get assistance with making sure all of the parts are done correctly?
Absolutely. Make an appointment. You can make an appointment as a startup and we'll go through all your paperwork and make sure it's done right.
Yep. So just an FYI again, if to our audience, when Vanessa says make an appointment, she means the first link. So njsbdc.com/startup. That's where you'll be able to speak to Vanessa and her team. So that's for startup. The second link where it says click here for counseling NJSBDC, that's just njsbdc.com. And the first thing that you'll see pop up on the page will be the request counseling. That's for all the new formations and registrations. So anything related to marketing, finance, accounting, procurement, certifications, things like that. Okay, so just confirmed. Sorry, on the side note, Vanessa, we're sort of troubleshooting the link to the survey. So Donat just informed that the form links to the enhancing credit presentation. All right, thank you for letting me know. We're troubleshooting and we'll get you the slides. Next question is from Deborah, who says, how do I get certified as a woman-owned business?
Okay, so once you're a registered business in New Jersey, the place to go for all the different specialty certifications, including woman-owned business, is called the Uniform Certification Service website. It is on the New Jersey portal, again, called Uniform Certification Service website. And what it does is it'll take you through an application process where you get to check off which certifications you're applying for, and it'll tell you what it is necessary to upload for your provisional first year. This is something that we do help people with. So if it's complicated or you have any questions about it, you can certainly make an appointment and we can walk you through the process.
Right. Thank you. Next question is from Ariane, who says, I registered an LLC under my name, and due to my full-time job compliance issues, they are asking me to put it under my husband's name. Do I just need to endorse it, or do I have to open a new one?
You can amend, anybody can amend their LLC at any given time. It's called filing an amendment. You will get charged $100 to file an amendment. But so when you say under my name, I don't know if you mean that the LLC is your name, or if you mean you're the owner of the business and then it's a different name. So if you can clarify that, but to amend the LLC legal name, you would file the amendment. And if you needed to get yourself off as an owner, maybe if that's the issue, is that you can't own it, then you also amend the LLC where you'll take your name off and you will put your husband's on. And it's basically amending. So no, you do not have to form a new LLC. You just have to amend it either way.
Got it.
All done through the portal. All done through the portal.
Yep. Next question is from Anonymous. They say, we have already registered our business, but now we want to do business under another business name, so DBA. How do we register or add that appropriately?
in the portal, there's something that would allow you to file, it's through the amendment process. You would log in and then you'll pick file an alternate business name. I can go to the portal if that would be helpful.
Sure, we can do that, Vanessa.
For just a minute.
Yeah.
I'm realizing that might not be a bad idea. Let's see. How would I do that? I am still sharing.
You are still sharing your screen, yes.
All right. Well, why don't you go on to the next question and then I can always circle back.
What you can do is you can stop sharing, go onto the page, and then reshare again.
That's what I'll do.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
In the meantime, let's go back to the link again. So I just put the link in the chat again. If someone can complete that and let me know if it's working, because for some people it's working, for some it's not. So I think if you're using the old link, not that the link has changed, but if you're using the old link, please let me know where it's getting, because ultimately just some of the BTS things that happen is that ultimately you just have to go into the Google Forms, change the prompt, and you just have to change. Okay, so Vivian says same issue. Natalie says it is working for me, the new link. Okay. All right. What we'll do is we'll try to follow up. We'll try to send a follow-up email, and we'll try to send the slides in there. So keep an eye out on your. Let's try that.
Okay. All right, I'm going to share my screen again. Share screen. And we are looking here. Okay. So this is the njportal.com. I like going to this. Can you see it, Uzma?
Yes.
We got.
Yes.
I like going here because I can remember njportal.com. And then I get to where I need to go. So if you come down here to the Division of Revenue and Enterprise Services, click here. You scroll down, you see there's a lot of options over here. So here, business filings and records. You could see this is your business name search area. This here is, you can see you can form, register your business, file your annual report, amend your business charter. So to the person, anyone's looking to amend their business charter, you can click here, learn more, and then you'll see here that, okay, start the filing process. Just follow the prompt, really. You put your business, your entity identification number. That is not your tax ID. Entity identification number is the number that's on your certificate of formation, the business type, when you formed. And then once you're in that, you can either amend the existing articles of formation or you can file for an alternate business name. And that's how you get into that. And then you'll see here too, there's you could change your registered agent at any given time. Elect S Corp status. Remember how we talked about changing your tax filing? There's alternate filing. No, down here you can see the small minority women veteran. When you click here, uniform certification service, that's how you get into the site about how to become uniform certification service. This is how you get started. There's all the information. Okay, so I just wanted to show you kind of just a little bit about what the portal looks like. Now I'll go back to the other. Do you want, if there's any other questions, like we can keep going questions if you want.
There are questions, yeah. Let's, if you don't mind putting the link, the original link that you went to in the chat.
Oh, NJ Portal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. There we go.
Okay, and let me know. Are we ready to roll on with the questions?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Um, I'm not sure if we answered this, but I'm just gonna repeat it and you let me know if we answered it.
Okay.
Already registered our business. Now we want to do business under another DBA. How do we register or add that appropriately?
That's the filing the amendment. And then
Yes,
once you get into the portal, you log everything in, you click
got it.
file an alternate business name. $50 for 5 years.
Got it. Thank you. Next question is from Natalie. Natalie says, I'm a freelance interpreter or translator. I am set up as a sole proprietor, but not sure if I should change as an LLC. Do I need to be considered as a new startup or as already in business? Not sure if I should change as LLC. Thank you so much.
So when a sole proprietor becomes an LLC, New Jersey basically considers that or classifies that as a new business starting, because a sole proprietor is not really considered so much a business entity as it is a registered trade name, extension of yourself. So for example, when you go to form the LLC, you have to go get a brand new tax ID number, you have to file the articles of formation, you have to register. It's like starting a new business. Now, you're not really starting a new business because you're already operating. So you have business history, and that's fine. I mean, that doesn't get taken away from you. But in terms of your actual structure, everything is under a new name, a new tax ID. When you go to file your taxes the following year, it's a fresh Schedule C under the new legal business name, under the new tax ID. So I'm not sure if that really answers the question, but it is basically to go from a sole proprietor to an LLC. There's not just like a little transition button that you press and say, I'd like to transition. You basically put the sole proprietor aside and you start a business structure. You form the LLC.
All right, thank you. Next question is from Maria, who says, how can I file quarterly taxes as a 1099?
Oh, so both the IRS.gov on the federal side, and then on the state site, there's a place as well, Division of Taxation. I think it's in. So that link is taking me now to the Division of Taxation for New Jersey. I think this is where you can get yourself set up to pay estimated. I've been on the site in a while. Pay tax. Meet a payment plan. So this is how this is the state level. It's through the Division of Taxation, I believe, that you would set up estimated taxes here. The IRS has a whole other, and my understanding is that they even have an app now. For federal requirements, you could set that up directly through the IRS.
All right. Next question is from Yohani. They're asking, I am already registered with the New Jersey Department of the Treasury Division of Revenue and Enterprise, but I am not charging my clients taxes. Am I supposed to charge them tax?
I need to know what your business is in order for me to answer that.
Yep. So Yohani, if you're still here, let us know in the chat or the Q&A. And we'll get back to your question. Anonymous says, I helped my friend register her business with the state revenue and enterprise. Is it okay if she used her ITIN number?
her ITIN. Oh, okay, so I'd have to know what did you register? Did you register a sole proprietorship? Did you register an LLC? What business form or entity or structure did you register? If you register as a sole proprietor and you're allowed to use either your social security or your ITIN, register as an LLC, you have to use the EIN, the tax identity, from the IRS. And in order to get an EIN, you have to put in either a social security or an ITIN. So I'm not sure what you what business you used to do the registration. I don't know I hope that answers. Or you can clarify or make an appointment. We could talk more about it.
All right. Going back to Johanni's original question with not charging. Oh, okay. So Johanni's question's an anonymous question. So you're the same person, I'm assuming, Johanni. So going back to I am not charging my clients taxes, even though Johanni's registered with the NJ Department of Treasury Division of Revenue and Enterprise, and she's asking, am I supposed to charge them tax? And you asked Vanessa what kind of business Johanni has. They're responding, mobile massage services.
Oh, yes. So massages are subject to sales tax. Yes. You have to charge sales tax. Massages are exempt from sales tax if there is a prescription, if it's a medical prescribed prescription for the need of the massage. Otherwise, a massage is subject to sales tax. So you would have to charge sales tax. Yes.
Got it.
And
the question.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say, it's easy to amend. We can fix that. You just have to, it's called filing a Reg CL. It's an amendment where you alert the state that you will be charging sales tax, and we can help you go through that process.
Got it. Thank you. And the next question with helping the friend register her business with the state. And they had asked, is it okay if she used her ITIN number? Johnny follow up and says, I registered my friend as an LLC. I created an EIN for her as well.
Yeah. Yeah, if you created the EIN, you would have been asked for either a social security number or an ITIN. So if she doesn't have a social security number and you use the ITIN, that's fine.
All right, and we're down to our last question. That is from Alberto, who asked, is there a difference from doing it through the NJ portal versus the SBA way? And they mean certifying when they say doing it through the NJ portal versus the SBA.
Oh, I see. Yes, the SBA, you might be referring, you're talking about certifications.
Yeah.
Women, there are multiple designations for certifying. There's state, there's federal. The SBA is probably addressing federal designations for woman-owned, minority-owned. That's different. The portal is for just New Jersey. It's just the New Jersey certification process. I believe the SBA addresses, like I said, different, whether it's federal or different designation. It's not the same, I think. For New Jersey, in order to have a New Jersey state certified small business enterprise and the rest, it has to be done through that portal.
Got it. Thank you for that. And that concludes, let me just double check if our questions are, yep, our questions are answered. We're done with our Q&A. And let me just send out our last message of the webinar. and then I will start sharing my screen. And let me
Thank
just
you.
show everybody what we mean when we say go to njsbdc.com. Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you.
All right. So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So everybody, this is njsbdc.com, our organization. You just go into the, you just go into Google, put NJSBDC, it'll still show up. The only thing that you have to be careful of is that we do have 10 regional centers that I had mentioned earlier. So just be careful. This is our state office's website. So the all encompassing, like, the main homepage. And then the regional centers have their own webpage. So just be careful that you're going to the right one. So go to njsbdc.com. This is our page. I think it's a great resource. Just take out a couple minutes out of your day today and go through this if you haven't already. We have podcasts, we have blogs, we have upcoming events, we have featured posts, resources hub that I think is really great because it takes you to tools. So every single resource that you should be aware of as a small business owner, whether it's at the state level or federal level, we have all the links here for you. So for example, SBA, SCORE, USA.gov, SAM.gov, IRS, Treasury, all the funding resources. Then we have New Jersey's. So business.nj.gov, all the portal websites, BAC, taxation. Then we have local, so all the counties, county level. Then we also have some New York City, chambers of commerce, all of that. Too much to get into, but definitely check it out. The next page that I do want to show is that our NJ Thrive Small Business Webinars Library. This is the page that I was talking about, that if you don't go to YouTube, go to this one. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of webinars on here. And if this pop-up happens, you should definitely put in your email so you get reminders. And we've been doing these webinars for, I think, at least 4 years now. So yeah, since the pandemic happened in 2020. And any topic that you can really think about, anything that you'd like to request, let us know. But all of the topics that we've already covered, so QuickBooks or marketing strategies, cybersecurity, SBIR, SCTR, procurement, certifications, financing, accounting, green, sustainability in business. Vanessa's webinars from before and from November and all of that. So definitely check this out. It will continue to load. Another thing that I'd like to mention is if you go to events and statewide events, it'll take you to this. So literally our entire network's events, webinars that are happening, upcoming, they will be on here. So whether they're in person or online, it'll tell you. Whether it charges a fee or it's free, it'll tell you. Where is it? The location, it'll tell you. We also provide counseling in Spanish, and we also have some events and things that are happening in Spanish. So if you'd like to speak to a Spanish speaking consultant, please let us know and we'll arrange that for you. And yeah, this is everything that you can find on this page. So hopefully that's helpful. Our upcoming webinar that we have this coming Thursday is this: how to easily find, keep, and develop talent in your organization. Same time as always, 12 p.m. to 1 or 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's with our specialty consultant, Ginny Rock-Bailey, who helps with procurement and certifications. And this webinar is great. So either go to the same website that I just showed earlier, scan this QR code, but do it really quick because I am moving forward. And done. So this is my outro. We are here to help you. NJSBDC has helped 15,000 plus small businesses grow in the past 45 years. This year we hit our 46th year, so yay. So we're here to help you and support you. Please go to njsbdc.com/startup. Thank you for all your kind comments. We always see them. Just here, thank you, enjoy the presentation, helpful, things like that. I always say that if this has helped you, feel free to leave a review. Feel free to let us know in an email or something like that. And something that you can do to pass it on is share it with your friends and family. You never know if they might find it helpful. It might inspire them to have their own small business. So yeah, feel free to do that. I'll see you this coming Thursday. We'll be joined by Ginny Rockbilly. And yeah, take care until then. Bye.